Hey everybody, I'm the Ranting Monkey, and with me as always is Scribe. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
And with us for the last time is SDA. Say hi, SDA.
Hi, SDA.
Just kidding. It's not the last time. She's just going away for the weekend, guys. She's going to get pampered.
I'm going to speak in El Paso, as you guys already know. I'm gonna vlog though, so I'll put up a cheesy vlog when I get back.
Oh, I thought you were going to get pampered, like you're going to do some baby play.
Oh,
No.
no.
Bad Scribe.
Oh.
I also
real quick, before we do, wait 1 second. Before we do anything else, better read than dead up in there. You do apologize for last night. I don't think you heard us talking about it. You got silenced, and that was a complete accident. Mara was trying to click on your link, and with chat jumping, accidentally silenced you. That was a mistake. I apologize. I'm so sorry that happened. I know we argue sometimes, but I love having you in the chat. Sorry about that.
Mara will be soundly beaten for her mistake. I promise you. Crikey!
Okay. Yeah, we're going to just do that every 15 minutes.
Is that Mara's punishment?
That's Mara's punishment.
No, that's just the prologue.
Okay, and I was hoping Better Red would be like Better Red. Is one of my favorite commenters because we'll argue with you and never seems to take it personal. And I really am sorry about that. So, what were you going to say there, SDA? You were talking about
I was just gonna apologize for that. What happened?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all good.
Stepped all over you. I mansplained it. Emperor, we're still working on who's going to be her replacement for the weekend. I don't think we ever actually got anything.
I think it should be Mrs. Monkey.
If I could get her to agree to it, that would be great.
Well, give it a shot. I mean, I think that'd be good, at least for one day, if nothing else.
All right. So, what do we have in the news today?
I don't know. What were we talking about earlier?
You never listen to us.
we were talking about North Korea tried to ejaculate again.
Oh yeah, apparently they fired off another missile.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's see. I'll read the summary out of CNN just for covering all the bases. As long as the video doesn't start playing and deafening me. Okay. Don't play. Okay. Damn it! I told you not to play.
Better Red said that Rebel Media went full tabloid this morning. I'm curious to see what that was about. But don't send a link again because that went so well last time.
Yeah. Tweet it to
Tweet it to me instead.
Anyway, as far as like world crisis concerns, the world's most dire crises are landing at Donald Trump's feet 11 weeks into his presidency, putting a global spotlight on the new U.S. leader and laying bare the still unformed elements of his foreign policy. At the White House Wednesday, Trump was meeting with a key U.S. ally, Jordan's King Abdullah II, and speaking by phone with two others, German Chancellor Angela Merkel and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, to explain how his young administration plans to confront a spate of foreign challenges. All three are urgently looking for Trump to more fully articulate what, until now, have been vague proclamations of U.S. policy towards some of the world's most volatile regions. Okay, yada, yada, yada. Come on, let's get down to the specifics. Before he spoke on Tuesday, shocking images of atrocities in Syria prompted outrage and finger-pointing at the White House. Hours later, North Korea launched another ballistic missile, an apparent display of bombast, ahead of Trump's highly anticipated summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Florida on Thursday and Friday. Trump acknowledged Wednesday that the world's problems are now his, but he offered little explanation for how he planned to confront them. Let's see, anything else?
That was really the problem we had yesterday too. Trump is facing a lot of stuff with North Korea. He was talking about how Obama didn't do anything, didn't handle it properly, and I'll give him that.
Yeah.
And today he came out. I did see. I think Phil DeFranco was talking about it. He came out and said, "Yeah, I own this now." But then he just kind of stopped. He didn't even give us. We'll make North Korea great again, or some fucking.
I have a feeling that somebody told him to hold off until after he has a chance to talk to China.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I think the rhetoric that they were pumping out the previous 48 hours wasn't helping anything. And up until actually having a point at which to negotiate with China on what to do about it, it was probably best for him just to say, yes, I'm aware of it, and stop.
Yeah. That's unusual for him, though. I don't know how to take him showing any kind of restraint.
There was this, right after he was elected, there was this interview with Leslie Stahl of 60 Minutes, I think it was. And maybe it was just me. You can go back and find it on YouTube or something, but it was just after he was elected. She started asking him about, his feelings on it and everything else. And at that moment, and this was after he talked to Barack Obama and had sort of a sit down with him to get up to speed on what was going on in the world. It might have been just me, because I'd watched a lot of Trump interviews prior to that, of course. But there was something more sober in his face at that point. Now, it obviously didn't last that long necessarily in his rhetoric towards the media and et cetera, but I think as these actual problems are either articulated to him by someone who knows what they're talking about, or are confronted, or he has to confront because they're actually happening, maybe reality dawns on him a little bit, and the people around him are like, yeah, so this is actually dangerous. So yeah. So I think he's capable of being reined in, but I think it takes something patently dramatic to do so.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Serenity Lotus, thank you. Donation for the booty. I'll take it. Just don't touch the booty.
Or do.
No.
Not
the
so,
other.
Okay. How much would somebody have
Okay.
to pay you to touch your booty?
It wouldn't have to be very much, as long as you promise to just touch it and get your hand the hell off of it.
Okay, so you're a relatively cheap ass whore. Okay,
I am.
All right.
But I'm also.
I was just wondering.
It's also not a good quality ass play for you.
All depends.
Yeah. Excuse me. How much to tap that monkey ass? Unfortunately, that's not on the table.
$350.
About $350. That all belongs to Mrs. Monkey, although she doesn't tap my ass because we don't touch the monkey butt. Okay, the other issue, or the biggest other news story I saw was the Bannon things. Trump's advisor, what is this? It's Steve Bannon, right?
Steve Bannon, yeah.
Was removed from the National Security Council. He wasn't there very long. It's reported that he only ever attended one meeting.
Was it the council or the advisory group?
What did he do? I mean, because I know that people were upset because he's a racist.
Thanks, Serenity. And who said it was for your monkey booty? Of course it's for my monkey booty. Who wants to touch any other? You don't have a monkey booty. You're a human.
Well, yeah.
You're a painting.
I'm a painting, yeah.
I'm a flag.
All you can see is my backside.
Ooh. Ow,
ow. Bannon was, I don't think he actually did anything on there. He claims there's two stories about why he left the National Security Council. According to the White House, he was put on the council to keep tabs on Flynn. I don't remember Flynn's first name. Sorry, guys.
Michael
Flynn. Thank you. And Flynn is gone, so he doesn't have to be there anymore. According to Bannon himself, he was there to undo things that had been done, and he says he undid them, though he wasn't specific about what those things are.
Communist in Space donated £2. Thank you.
Thank you, Communist in Space. He said the DPRK, this is scrolling too fast on me again, is just defending itself from imperialism. Nobody's trying to take over North Korea. $2 from Serenity Lotus. Thank you so much. Scribe Cry confirmed, and the night has been saved. Oh, I love that. Sorry, laughing at your misery. Back to Bannon. Nobody said what he actually did there. And so it's really hard to comment on. I know there were a lot of people who were upset with him being there.
Oh, he's not qualified for it. He was a newspaper editor. He doesn't have any he doesn't have anything that commends him to be a national security advisor of any kind, as far as I know.
Yeah, wasn't he just an editor for Breitbart prior to?
He's done a bunch of other stuff, and he's a political like insider kind of guy, as well as being a former editor of Breitbart. But that doesn't. No, he doesn't have any international experience or any intelligence credentials, as far as I know. It doesn't make any sense.
He is still an advisor to Trump, so he's still going to be. According to according to sources, he still has his security clearance.
Sure.
So he will still be advising Trump on national security issues. He's just not on the council anymore. So Phil DeFranco, when he talked about this, pointed this out. It's for those who think, yay, it's great that he's not on the National Security Council anymore. It doesn't really matter because he still has Trump's ear and still has his security clearance.
So then what did they do with him, really?
Now he's just paid to sit there and talk to Trump and give his opinion.
I want that job. It sounds like the easiest job ever. Well,
typically you get somebody as a national security advisor, no matter if I like them or not, they have some kind of experience. As Scribe,
yeah, it's weird. Like, I don't think he's a racist or a terrible person. I just don't quite understand why he was qualified to be there in the first place.
Because he was picked. The thing about these positions is you don't necessarily have to have any qualifications.
No, I know.
The other thing too
is that you just sorry.
The other thing too is that, as we've seen from the Bush administration, sometimes simple loyalty can buy you access to things you might not otherwise be qualified to do.
Yeah, we saw that with the with FEMA.
Well, not only
the hell was
FEMA,
that guy's name?
Yeah, Michael Brown.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, the example that always blows my mind that nobody talks about anymore was Harriet Myers. You remember Harriet Myers?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, his personal lawyer that he put up as a nominee for Supreme Court of the United States. And it was like everyone in Washington was like, this lady is not qualified to be anything, not even like a district court judge. What are you doing? And that was really quickly withdrawn.
Yeah, that was, I can't believe that from all of the stuff that they bashed Bush for, that should be among like the top 4.
It really should.
Because that was just,
well, there was Harriet Myers and there was Bernie Carrick, who he put up for the the Homeland Security Office when it was first created, and then it was found out that Bernie Carrick was like a criminal.
Yeah. The only other thing I can say about Bannon is when this story broke, I was at the doctor's office, so I'm getting it on my phone, so I do not remember which news service it was. I think it was CNN. They showed a picture of him walking at the White House next to somebody, and he's in a suit, and he looks like a bum.
Does he?
He really does.
I haven't paid much attention to him.
Not clean shaven. His hair's all over the place, and the suit was. It looks like he.
Yeah, he does look a little frumpy.
Yeah, it just looked horrible.
You would think
for the White House. Wear a nice suit, fucker. Hey, Skaggles.
Stylist.
Yeah, you know, if I didn't have to dress up and I was getting paid anyway, I probably wouldn't.
But man,
I don't know.
For those of you who are just joining us, looking at the title there, SDA is only going away for the weekend. She will still be back, unless
I told you it was misleading.
It's supposed to be misleading. It's called clickbait. I am not above clickbait. It's still true.
Goodbye, SDA forever.
No, it says farewell, SDA. She'll be back. I didn't lie.
I mean, you're right.
See? You guys
even
get
with
my
the
limit
she'll
from
be
the
back,
last
everybody
stream.
was worried. It's okay. You guys know I'll be in El Paso and I just won't be able to stream while I'm there because I'll be doing stuff.
Do you have a link to the group that's doing that? Anywhere, like on one of your videos or something, like your video where you announced it?
I mean, I have a. Hold on. I have a link. I didn't link to their YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
But I linked to the website for the actual event. However,
I'm trying to help you promote this here. You understand that, right?
Yeah, I know. In the Hangout chat, though, I put the link to their YouTube channel.
Why don't you put it in the main chat?
Oh, so that you could put it in the description.
I can do that too.
That's their YouTube channel, guys. And that's where it's going to be streamed. I'm going to be speaking around 1 or so, 1 p.m. on Saturday, which is Mountain Time, not Eastern.
1 p.m. Mountain Time?
So it would be 3 p.m. Eastern Time.
Putting it in the description. What else is going on today, guys? How have you guys been?
Oh, I don't know if you guys care about golf or not, but...
Well, it depends. Am I playing or am I watching somebody play?
This is my excited face.
But Rory McIlroy, who's a professional golfer, a couple months ago played golf with Donald Trump. He played a round of golf with Donald Trump. He's not American. He's from the UK, I think. I'm actually not sure. But either way, he played golf with the president and got a fuck ton of flack for it.
Okay.
And this week is the week of the Masters, so they did like a press conference, and that's all that people would ask him about. Is like, why did you play, why did you play golf with Trump? Why would you do that? All that kind of stuff. And it was,
why wouldn't you play golf with the president if given the opportunity?
That's it. And a couple months ago when the whole thing happened, you know, he made a statement. He was like, I just played golf with the president. So yeah.
Yeah, you jealous?
And people even asked, and they asked him, would you do it again? And he was like, based on all of this, no.
Right. It wasn't worth all that. I would golf with the president no matter what. I mean,
I would too. Why wouldn't you? When the president of the United States is like, yo, you want to chill?
Yeah. I don't get those people who, I'm not going to meet the president. Why? I mean, fuck, at least go and take the opportunity to tell me you think he's an asshole.
Oh, like those sports teams that are like if they win the NBA championship or whatever, they're not going to go to the White House like traditionally they do. It's like, oh, well, we're not going to go there, like, because you're a bigot.
What do you guys think of Trump going home every weekend? And
yeah, the Mar-a-Lago stuff. The amount of extra expense that he is putting on the taxpayers' tab for that bullshit. I'm as happy with that as I was with Bush going to the Texan White House every other weekend or whatever. I'm not too jazzed with him using the public resources to just go to his little vacation home every day. I don't like that myself.
If he did it on his dime, I'd have no problem.
Exactly. But, I mean, if he was paying for it,
dime, no.
Yeah, fueling up Air Force One every time he wants to jet down to Florida to go to his little resort. No, your job is in Washington D.C. This is something my boss says all the time. Yeah, you can work from home, but the job is at the office. And that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think it's a bit excessive. The other thing is, you know, if he were like, you know, not working on the weekends and just at the White House, then fine, because he's gotten a whole lot of stuff done. So I'm not really worried about him not working and not getting stuff done, because he could do nothing else for the rest of his presidency and be the most successful president in history.
Oh, you're going to cause problems with that statement?
When it comes to getting shit done, he literally is. Whether you like it or not, he's the most productive president we've ever had. So I don't have a problem with him not working on the weekends. That's okay with me. But really, every weekend, why?
Well, it's not like if he's at the White House, he can't go upstairs and chill out.
Right, that's what
he just wants to be at his house. I'm one of those people, I don't really like to go out. When I go out, I always have a great time, but I'm a homebody. So I can see the appeal of wanting to be at your place, but you're the fucking president now. You're not Donald Trump, the real estate mogul, or the reality TV star. You're Donald Trump, the fucking president.
You got a job that is located outside of town. You relocate. You relocate for the term of your time there. And like I say, if he wants to make Mar-a-Lago or whatever the new Camp David for the sake of his presidency, where it is the occasional vacation spot or the place you take, certain dignitaries and such things, fine. But yeah, how many times has he gone there in the last month? How
Well,
much is it
that's just
costing?
it.
How much is it costing every time he does that? Again, not him, but the taxpayer. I don't. Yeah. I mean, that's really the bottom line. If the expenditure wasn't coming out of our dime, so to speak, I
I
wouldn't give a
wouldn't
shit.
care. Yeah, I wouldn't
exactly.
care. But because of the amount of security needed in order
That's the
for him
thing.
to do that,
He couldn't. I don't think he actually could go there on his own dime, given the requirements of his security and his office. I mean, he is more than just Donald Trump right now. He is an office of the American government all by himself, and that has certain intrinsic requirements for his security and travel and everything else. So,
and not only that, but he's probably one of the most hated presidents in recent times anyway. So you're talking about another security threat as well.
yeah, disrupting the area every time he goes down there. I mean, I remember when the few times that the president or the vice president, whatever, visited the area I live in, and just how much chaos it causes for the traffic and the security and God knows what else. And he's doing it every other week now.
Yeah, my family lives near West Palm, which is where Mar-a-Lago is. And from my cousin's condo building, you can actually see Mar-a-Lago, and you know exactly where it is because it's where all the lights are. And where there's like big beams of security lights, and it causes all sorts of problems for the people that actually live there, because not only are you the president, but everybody hates you.
Oh, somebody in the chat said he's not accepting pay for president, so it balances out the cost. Hell no.
No, it doesn't.
The president's yearly salaries are like $400,000.
Yeah.
How he makes a trip like this? It's about $2 to $3 million. Give me a break. No.
And even with that, he's not accepting the salary; it's being donated, so that money is still coming out.
Yeah.
But even with that, even if when congressmen and the president, when they go on private trips, when they use official means, they have to pay for it typically. I don't know if the president does. I know Congress does. But even with that, with the president, he wouldn't have to pay for necessarily his security detail.
I think it depends on if they can justify it as a political, if it's a business expense, or they can somehow finagle it into counting as a business expense, then it goes on the taxpayer's dime.
He can take vacations like a normal person. He doesn't need to go down there every fucking weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even once a month, if he continues to be as productive as he is, I can forgive it. But this often, it's ridiculous, and it's costing us money that we frankly don't have.
Let him drive. Let him go for a road trip.
Oh God!
Remember when Clinton blocked up the airport getting his hair cut?
Yeah,
that was such a great story.
No, you
want to talk about it? Did that actually happen?
That actually happened.
He was getting a haircut and blocked up the airport.
Yeah. They called in a stylist to come cut his hair on Air Force One on the runway. So everything had to stop while Clinton got his hair cut. You were saying, Scribe?
I was going to say that I know you're joking, but a road trip, you want to talk about security risks. They are multiplied by a zillion if you try to drive from DC down to Florida in a convoy of the president's motorcade. Yeah, no.
Down I-95.
Talk about, can you imagine, talk about disrupting traffic?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
I've seen somebody, I'm sorry, I forget who said it, but they were talking about the bill passing about internet privacy.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, it's a bill that allows your internet service provider to share your search information. Basically, it's a way to sell advertising. There's been a lot of talk about this, and everybody's freaking out about it. How do I say this? It's not that big of a deal because the rules that are in place have only been there for a few months. It's not like this started at the beginning of Obama's administration, and for 8 years, your information was private. It's only been private for like 2 or 3 months. I don't agree with it. I think it's kind of skeezy myself. But I think people are really overreacting to the impact of it because it was already going on for quite a while. Shade Shadow is the one that brought it up. Thank you, Shade.
I agree. And honestly, if whether or not they're allowed to sell it, they're probably still tracking it anyway.
Oh yeah, they have to for national security reasons, because you never know when the government's going to come calling.
So you don't have any privacy anyway, and you haven't had privacy for a very long time.
Well, and there's other entities that are allowed to track you. The only thing that was stopped by that was your ISP, and they were still allowed to track you. They just couldn't share it. So I understand why people don't like it. It was nice to finally get that privacy. I'm a pretty private person myself, but I mean, I just don't see it as that big of a deal considering how short-lived it was. It's something that you can use as a motivator for 2018 and put
No,
people in who
I wish that we
want to
could
overprint
be
it.
on the internet and be completely private, but it's just not something that's going to happen.
Scribe, you okay over there?
Yep, I'm just listening.
Oh, okay, just make sure we didn't lose you.
Nope.
As far as I know, that's as many stories as I know of that I found interesting today. Oh, you know what we haven't talked about? It's actually what my video is going to be on. So, spoiler alert. God damn it. That's about
Come
how
on,
I
monkey.
sounded. Spoiler alert.
There you go.
The Pepsi commercial that hit YouTube yesterday.
Oh my god.
2 minutes and 40 seconds. Did you guys watch that?
Was this
Yes. I watched it because Philly D watched it.
Was this the Jenner thing with the handing it to a cop
Yes.
deal? Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it, and I laughed my ass off about them like freaking out about it.
People were asking me to talk about it, and I was like, I don't know what you want me to say.
Hang on a second, guys. Can you guys hold this for a minute?
Hold what?
Okay.
Talking to stream.
Hold down.
Okay.
Because he's got to go do baby stuff or Mrs. Monkey stuff or
For the grand monkey.
or eat a banana. Who knows? What's going on in the chat? Awesome Kekistani Pepsi commercial. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about when he gets back. But the thing that kind of made me laugh was it's making fun of social justice. That's why they got all pissed off.
Was it actually making fun of social justice?
So, if I remember correctly, the way it went was what's
I
her
couldn't
name?
tell if it was like an endorsement of that.
Yeah, so there was a
just...
protest going on, and the protesters were getting all antsy against the cops. And then the Jenner girl, she walks through the crowd and hands a Pepsi to the cop, and all of a sudden, the tensions drop. And I guess it was meant to sort of be emblematic of like, let's all just get along kind of thing. And the accusation was this is making fun of or devaluing the Black Lives Matter movement and their complaints against the police or the social justice movements and all that fun stuff. And I just thought, okay, so you have a commercial that in a cheesy soda pop way, which has been done for 30, 40 freaking years between Coca-Cola making everybody wanting to buy the world to Coke. I mean, just like promoting everybody getting along, and you guys can't stand that. I just thought, great, wonderful.
Well, I love this commercial. I really do. I think it's awesome for all the wrong reasons. One, the soundtrack they use, that song sucks. It's just bad. But if you watch it, the way that it progresses, it starts out with the guy playing his bass up on the roof, and then later he's down in a building for some reason, and I think it's a different guy, but he's a grungy looking hipster Asian guy. And what makes Kendall Jenner finally join this movement of happy people marching down the street, because that's how all of these protests go.
Mm-hmm.
What finally gets her to join in is he gives her a little wink and a head nod.
Like, oh
come on,
yeah,
babe. Come on, babe. You know you want some of this.
Mm-hmm.
And so she rips off the blonde wig, which I'm not sure why. And she goes
I
from
don't
wearing
know why either.
She was hiding her identity, so she doesn't want to be recognized in a crowd.
But how does ripping off the wig change her clothing?
Well,
okay, be completely honest. If you saw Kendall Jenner in public. Would you have any idea who that was?
No, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
But my favorite part of the whole commercial, my favorite part is the end, because what it looks like, she goes up and she gives the cop a Coke, or sorry, Pepsi. Whoops.
Oh my God.
He drinks it and
It's so
smiles.
funny.
Everybody cheers. So what it really comes off as is that they are protesting that cops are not drinking enough Pepsi.
Well, that's just the real issue.
It seems to be. And I love how
Pepsi tackling the things that matter.
this rich white girl cuts through the crowd to take care of the issue.
Oh yeah.
White bitches have to fix everything.
I guess so. Also, I hit 6,000 subscribers, so thank you guys.
Yes.
I was excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's true. She does only give one cop a Coke. And maybe it was just him. Maybe that's what the whole protest was about. Shit, I keep saying Coke, don't I?
And I'm also getting an echo.
I only heard it one time.
I'm hearing it on my end a little bit. Do you have
I'm not hearing one.
Do you have your headphones plugged in all the way, SDA?
Yeah.
Okay. Testing. Yeah, if I raise my
I hear
voice
it when you talk.
Yeah, if I raise my voice, I hear it.
Hello. Hello. Yeah, see, I didn't hear it on my. Oh,
I did.
that was delayed.
Yeah.
Very
Mute
little
yourself.
one.
Yeah, mute yourself for a second, SDA. Let's test this. Testing. It's her again. Uh-oh.
What'd you do, woman?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Maybe it only works on her.
I didn't do anything.
She just got new headphones and we're back to it again. The curse has returned. Okay. Well, it's not as bad as past.
No,
so.
we're okay.
Okay.
We just won't yell.
Yeah. I'll try not to.
Just don't yell at me.
This commercial is supposed to be it's supposed to be the new Hilltop commercial, which is the commercial you referenced, Scribe. It's the Coke. I want to buy the world a Coke.
Yeah.
It was the hippie generation, and it actually worked for them. It was a good commercial for them. Pepsi missed the whole thing. This whole thing is just a shit commercial. It's one of those things I love for all the wrong reasons. I'll whisper sexily. Oh, that's you, Scribe.
Who do you think it was? Who do you think?
Why? I read the chat and I go back and look at who said it. I read backwards.
But the thing that ticks me off, just like with all these kind of things, is that, they gave in. Somebody complained.
Oh, yeah, they did.
And they gave in. And so Pepsi's a bitch. And congratulations, Pepsi. A very, very, very small minority of people who, how many people actually saw this ad or even knew it existed until the scandal broke? And it's not like it disappeared. Pepsi might have, quote unquote, removed it, but it's out there. It's mirrored in a zillion different places. It's not like it's gone. So they get free advertising forever.
That's the part that pissed me off the most, and I haven't heard anybody else talk about. Pepsi, who pulled their advertising from YouTube, uploaded this fucking video to YouTube.
Well, no. So the differential being that ads that Pepsi has control over putting onto YouTube, they will put on YouTube. Ads that are automatically generated to videos against their control, that is what they pulled. They pulled paying for advertising that might.
Hasn't that been going on forever though? And it's just now a problem.
Yeah,
this is just one of those things that I think was inevitable because YouTube and just independent content creators are the popular thing right now. And even when you have big media companies making content, nobody gives a shit. Because if I wanted to watch stuff produced by big media companies, I'd watch TV, but nobody's watching TV.
Well, here's the thing.
So I think this is just the natural backlash, and this is just one of those things that we'll have to go through as entertainment continues to evolve.
No, well, yes, in a way, but the thing, the other angle to look at this is that as these big companies use this scandal to pull their ads out, how is that not a leveraging tool to get YouTube to charge them less to bring their ads back?
Oh, I think
there's a whole extra couple of levels to it. It's more nuanced than that, as they would say.
I think a lot of the big companies did it for exactly that reason. They finally saw a way to get leverage against Google, because Google has had them by the nuts for a long time. they are advertising on the internet.
Right.
Coke is much better than Pepsi.
Hell yeah, it is.
I accidentally had a regular Coke today, and it was so nasty. It was so nasty.
That's because you're a commie.
Get out.
I'm not used to drinking sugar. I'm used to drinking cancer sugar.
Get out.
Cancer sugar, so
Yeah, the fake
aspartame.
sugar that like murders
aspartame.
you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The
Oh,
little
what happened with Christy Winter? Somebody wanted us to talk about that.
Yeah, somebody asked me about. I guess something new happened, but I don't know what, if anything. So
Yeah, I don't either. I'm gonna go to her. I'm gonna go. Ooh. Whoops. I'm gonna
Can
go
Monkey
to her.
leave the stream? Why? Oh, because of Coke? Fuck Coke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck Coke.
Monkey, get out.
Coke.
Like, you remember that night that
That's my
Scribe and
next
I
shirt.
just. No, bad Monkey. Do you
Coke.
remember the night that Scribe and I just had to fix it for you and, stream on your behalf?
Oh.
That was
We
funny.
got this. Get out.
Better Red. We talked about the false flag thing yesterday. If that's what it is, then we can go over it again quickly. But if anybody knows if anything else happened,
Christy and Kevin got false flagged or flagged, whether it's false or otherwise.
I know Kevin got flagged before. I heard that Michael got flagged.
Oh, Rollins.
Yeah. Irate Bear did a video on it earlier.
Was it community guidelines or copyright?
Community.
I Am Heath Ledger.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, that's a documentary that's coming out where they took a whole bunch of his private videotapes and interviews and such and put it into a documentary.
Yay.
I'm a fan of his work. I still haven't seen Brokeback Mountain and never will. But
did you like Roar?
I haven't seen it.
Does the butt stuff in Brokeback Mountain make you feel weird?
It's not just
the butt stuff.
It's the
butt stuff.
Okay, it's a little bit the butt stuff. But if I would have, I might have watched it. If I've talked about this before, I heard my wife watching it and hearing them simulate butt sex. No, I'm good. I'm good.
So it's all the butt stuff.
Oh, apparently Roland's got a strike because he had mirrored Christie's video.
Well, that doesn't sound like. Oh, now that's interesting then, because is that just a really meticulous false flagger, or is there actually something in there that violates the community guidelines?
Here's the thing: if they challenge it and it stays down, I can see it being left down because there is insulting stuff in the video. I haven't watched it. I'm going by what Michael Rollins himself said. It was a joke at Sargon's expense, but YouTube has cracked down on people for that before. So if you get flagged for that kind of stuff, they tend to go with it.
I feel like if you're a feminist, it would have to be something really bad for them to actually uphold a community guideline strike on you.
Well, for the there's a guy who's actually claiming responsibility. I forget his name. Me and Irate Bear made a video about this guy a long time ago when he tried doing similar. He threatened, this was before Baring got doxxed. He swore he had enough stuff to dox Baring and he was going to do it. And me and Irate Bear.
I have enough stuff to dox Baring.
Well, we all do now.
Yeah.
But the same guy is claiming to be the one who did the strike against Rollins. I don't know if he claimed the strike against Christy Winters. And if it is him, that guy's a fucking idiot. And once again, I want to say, I do not support flagging anything but like child porn and terrorist videos.
Or if somebody makes a video, that's doxing somebody else, releasing private information, et cetera.
You had to correct me on that yesterday, didn't you?
Well, if it's because I think, if it's genuinely something along the lines of, I don't know, you revealing some sort of personal details about somebody, whether it be like their personal life.
I think the general category is if you're broadcasting anything that might tend to put anyone's safety under threat, then that's probably something that should be flagged, regardless of. Now, of course, how you classify that can get into some gray areas when it's not a direct like call to action, or like you say, pedophilia, or you're doxing some. Doxing someone is, depending on the circumstances, a little nebulous. Depending, I've heard all the arguments, and I can agree with some sides of it and not with others. So,
if somebody makes a video just insulting the shit out of me, I will probably watch it and enjoy it and respond to it. I don't want anybody flagging anything like that on my behalf.
Right.
And I don't support doing it to anyone, because Christy Winters is a cunt, but who cares? I support her right to be a dumb cunt.
Yep.
What else do we have in the chat here?
Well, I wanted to talk about, I kind of wanted to expand on the video that I put up today, if that's okay.
Oh, yes. Tell us about your video today.
Well, Scribe sent me this video of this girl talking about writing diversity. And her first point, I watched her first point, and then I was like, yeah, I'll respond to this. Because her first point was about using food. And she was like, you wouldn't say that, you know, a white person has like skin the color of coffee creamer. And I was like, why not? You could.
You made a great point in that, because I've seen it many times. Skin from white people described as milky white.
Well, because if you're talking about somebody who's really, really pale, using the word milky kind of perfectly captures that sort of translucent type.
No, the perfect description is toilet seat complexioned.
But then
have we learned nothing from Ghazi? I mean, seriously.
But then she went into, then she said something like, milk that's been left out for too long and is slightly discolored. And I was like, all right, let's go with that. Why not? What if you have a character that's disgusting and their skin's all fucked up?
Or they're ill or something.
Yeah, why wouldn't there? Maybe their skin is literally like discolored.
Yeah, a guy lying in a hospital bed, tubes all inside of him. His skin was looked like the color of congealed milk. I mean, what do you want?
And for the record, this is only if you're white writing about a black character. You're not allowed to call them coffee or caramel, I think she said.
Chocolate.
You're not allowed to use those. Now, if you're a black writer, feel free.
But it was, and like I said, and even in her own video, she was like, well, that was gross and creepy. And I was like, yeah, yes, it was. Maybe your character is gross and creepy.
Mind blown.
Sometimes that's the image that you want to invoke. Just saying. I thought that was silly. And people, Mara pointed out to me, because we were chatting about it, that people also use like peach and that kind of stuff to describe lighter skin tones. So food and like those types of colorings are very easy to go to, because it invokes a very specific color in your brain. And there's a Tumblr post that's super popular that she linked to and that I put in the description of my video. And it goes through all the different ways you can describe colors. And a lot of the colors that they use in that post are confusing, because if you were to look them up, there are so many different colors that are supposedly that color. But you know what I mean when I say chocolate brown.
Yeah. The colors that you showed in the video, I mean, a lot of those could go for a dark-skinned white person. Some Italians, excuse me, one of my friends is Italian, and she's like damn near full blood. She gets accused of being Mexican all the time. Everybody thinks she's Mexican because of her complexion. So I get what she's...
Is she Italian, or is she Sicilian?
It might be Sicilian.
I learned from True Romance why that
darker.
is. Yeah. Dennis Hopper educated me in True Romance why that is. So I'll leave that for the chat to find out on their own, because that movie needs to be watched if you haven't seen it.
Apparently, Skaggles the squirrel is the color of Whopper sauce. Oh, my God. I saw Peach Bailey's. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. Do you have more to say on that?
Yeah, I've got a lot more to say, but you can go ahead real quick.
Okay. I did see Peach Bailey's latest video. I considered making a response to it, actually. She's a little bit down right now, and it's because of, at least part of it, because of how SJWs are still pushing ahead. No matter how many times you point out that they're a bunch of fucking idiots, they're still winning the war. And she asked me, how much can we do? And my response to that is simply this: it's not a matter of how much you can do, it's a matter of making sure you're at least doing something. I don't have it in me to go out and protest or go to city council meetings or anything. So I have a microphone and I share my voice. And do I change hearts and minds? Probably not. But I do entertain people, at least myself. And if you look at this, if you go into anything like this where you're trying to share your opinion, you're trying to change public perception, and your only goal is to make a huge impact, chances are you're going to end up down about it because you're one person. Very few people make a worldwide impact.
Yep. I don't imagine. I don't imagine the videos I make will change the world. I only have two goals in what I'm doing, and that is one, entertain myself because I'm bored a lot of the time, and this is a very interesting hobby that keeps my mind working. And the only other goal, the second goal, I suppose I would have, or at least hope, is that in some small way, I can impart the notion onto anybody who watches my videos to just think critically about what people say. I mean, I don't claim any kind of infallibility. I don't claim to know all the answers. And most of the time, a lot of my videos, if you watch them, I'm usually just asking questions, sometimes pointed questions.
Sorry, Scribe.
What?
You roboted.
Oh, did I? Uh-oh. Am I roboting now?
I didn't hear it.
Oh, really?
Oh,
really?
Then maybe it's you.
Fuck. I roboted.
But anyway, yeah, because the one thing I'm all eternally grateful for are, like, even though I don't agree with everything they say, what Keith Olbermann's special comments, and Hitchens, and these guys that sort of awakened my sense of really articulating my critiques of things and be more critical and more, not buy into bullshit as much as possible and try to really be pragmatic about how I'm listening to things and interpreting them. So
somebody in the chat said that the SJWs aren't winning or Trump wouldn't have been elected. I hate to pull this line on you, but Hillary did win the popular vote.
Yep.
And you don't even have to look that far. Just look at the Pepsi ad being pulled because people got their little panties in a bunch.
Yeah.
The SJWs still have the upper hand. Okay, I'm sorry. For those who don't know, that's Peach Bailey. Better Read Than Dead put it in the chat so you can see the actual spelling of it. It's Baile. She does great content. I like a lot of her stuff. Okay, sorry, SDA.
It's okay. So the other thing that I hear a lot when people talk about writing, like diversity and stuff like that, and it's kind of a shame that a lot of the people who are vocal about writing are also social justice warriors. I don't know how they get anything done because you have to sit there with 10 checklists to make sure that nobody's offended. But you have to address everything. No, I don't. Maybe I'm writing about a time period where a woman of some sort of nobility status would actually have a handmaiden or something. I don't have to address the perils of being a handmaiden if I don't want to. That's not what it's about. Shut up.
Well,
that's,
one of the points that you were talking about.
Unless you want to, then fine. But if it's just part of the story and she's just a character and it doesn't matter, then it doesn't matter. I don't know.
One of the points I really liked that you were talking about was she brought up best friend characters being people of color. That's such a fucked up. I hate that phrase. Having a black
that's
best
why I
friend
call them
in a story.
Characters of color. Cox.
Nice. She actually says that if you don't have a black best friend and kill him off to advance the story of your white character.
Everything that happens is to advance the main character.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're the main character.
Well, would it be better
Idiot.
if the side character was a white person who got killed off to advance the... I fucking hate the idea that in writing that you have to go by these SJW rules. One, I understand why they're doing it, because literature helps frame the debate in the world. But the idea that you should have to censor yourself in any way when you're writing a story is fucking retarded.
Mm-hmm.
One,
Yeah,
it's fiction.
it is.
It's fiction.
I
It's not real, people.
Oh, sorry. I always like the...
No,
you first.
No, I was just apologizing for cutting you off. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so I remember it was either last night or the night before, somebody brought up, either in the, I think it was in the chat, an example of where, like in their art teacher was saying something to the effect of like, oh, you know, art done by white people is a
Right.
negative
Yeah.
perspective or something. I remember some similar argument about literature, like white literature. Some people who I know personally from Facebook things were talking about white literature, and specifically in relation to J.K. Rowling's and her relatively recent book. I forget about where magic was in America and everything, and she used some Native American mythology as part of her, as weaving in some of those myths into her Harry Potter verse or whatever. And
thank you, that guy.
now, white literature was stealing people's culture, et cetera, et cetera. And I always wanted to find somebody that, you know, believes that. And similarly to the teacher that was talking about art, is like take, you know, 4 pages out of several different books and have them read them and just, okay, read that and tell me the race of the person that wrote that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so immaterial. It really is. It's immaterial. I mean, either a story is good and it's engaging and it's intriguing and the characters are well developed, or they're not. It doesn't, again, you know, how much melanin count is in your skin does not equate to somehow being better or worse. It's about the product. It's about merit, not about outcome, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I agree. Fuck, I just lost what I was gonna say. I just, because then, you know, at the end she's like, but, you know, don't be afraid to write about cocks. It's fine. And you're like, but you just told me, ugh, fine. And I don't know, it's just, it's silly to me. There's so many, it's like with all these rules, how am I supposed to write anything with these kind of restrictions and limitations? And if you're going to give me all these rules for writing cocks, why would I ever do it?
Yeah, I mean, people never get praised.
That much of a minefield.
People rarely get praised for writing something that's cliche. You know, it's an original novel with a fresh concept, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, oh, you wrote a book that abided by all the rules and you made sure all of your characters were boring, not offensive, and you didn't touch upon anybody's feelings.
Good
tell
job.
me how, yeah, watch that win awards that aren't the Hugo Awards, because the Hugo Awards are the SJW Awards. Now, they might as well just rename it.
Oh, yes.
Because anybody who doesn't know, if you just do a search on the drama that has occurred at the Hugo Awards over the last like 3 or 4 years, and it's absolutely ludicrous. It has completely devalued the notion of that award completely. It's a prime example of the process of infiltration, moral judgment overtaking judgment of merit, and now it's just done. There's not even a reason to value the Hugo Award as meaning something anymore.
Well, it does show your SJW credentials.
That's true.
The other thing is the idea that you shouldn't write about something just because you haven't personally experienced
Oh
it.
God, you know that same
it's
argument
like,
I had.
Here's the thing about that. when it comes to writing, even if you're writing something about battling space aliens, I guarantee you, if you actually take a second to examine your themes, you'll find something that you've taken from your own personal experience.
But you see, SDA, if I haven't battled space aliens, I'm not allowed to write about battling space aliens. If I have, I mean, I'm not Romanian. I can't write about vampires. It's just not allowed. Don't you understand? You can only write about experiences and cultures of which you have a direct connection. Otherwise, it's illegitimate and you're a thief. Don't you get it?
Me and
Well,
Scribe
that's what's
actually
so silly about it.
Well, it is silly. But me and Scribe talked about this with the J.K. Rowling thing because everybody was, well, not everybody. These people were offended because of the Native American thing, and she had no experience.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody gives a damn that she wrote Harry Potter, a book about a young boy, which she's never experienced.
Right.
If you can only ever write about what you are, it is going to be the most boring fucking literature ever.
And like I said, at its core, even if you're writing about battling blue aliens, you're probably still drawing from your own personal experience to some extent.
In character interactions
course.
or something. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, looking
So
at
even if
Harry
you're writing
Potter,
about an internment camp, there's probably something in there that rings true to you, even if it takes you sitting down and being like, what are my themes? And then you're like, oh my God, I'm crazy. Okay.
well, if you look at Harry Potter, this is one of my criticisms of the whole series, because I do love the Harry Potter books, but Harry and Ron are not written in a very realistic way for young boys. They have several falling outs throughout their interactions throughout the 7 books that are more like how girls get offended at each other and stop talking to each other for a while. That's not something boys typically do. That was her putting herself into Harry. You can't get away from your own personal experience, but that doesn't mean you can't write about other people as well, even if it does have part of you in there.
Well, that's actually something that I'm careful to do whenever I have to write about boys. Because as a girl, it's difficult because you have to be like, what would a guy actually do in this situation? Because what I would do is very different.
He'd jerk off.
Yeah, probably.
The end.
So yeah, that can actually it can actually be hard to write about somebody of the opposite sex than you are, and you end up asking a bunch of guys that you know. You're like, okay, so let's say you were in this situation, what would happen?
No. I learned all I needed to know about writing women from Jack Nicholson and As Good as It Gets. I think of a man, and I take away reason and accountability.
Fair enough. Not you, though, SDA. Hashtag
No.
not all.
No. SDA has all the reason in the world. She's accountable to everything she does.
Of course not. So, yeah, I think, you can't write about something you haven't experienced. Well, then I can't write about anything, I guess, because I haven't experienced a lot of stuff. I mean, shit, I've never stepped foot in a nightclub, thank God. I guess none of my characters can go there. I actually had to look up a video of a nightclub to write that scene because I was like, I have no idea what it's like. And just also when she said populate your world with colored people, I'm like, I don't describe those people anyway. Ever. There's no reason for me to describe the throwaway barista.
Now, why do all the work that you can allow your reader to do for you?
Well, and like I said in the video, you're gonna break the immersion if every time a random character is there, you're just like, it was black, I swear, and a lesbian, but not because she looks like a lesbian. Respectfully, she's a lesbian, I think.
Yeah, she only looks a little like a dyke.
Yeah. So like that would be so annoying. And like I said, one of the ways to foreshadow a character being important is if they're a throwaway character to begin with, you take a little time to just be like, oh, they had blonde hair and blue eyes and she was fat or something. I don't know. whatever.
Not a
She
very
was
good
also-
Aryan.
And she was also part dog. And you're like,
Whoa!
all right.
Schweinhund!
And you're like, okay, fine. And then later you're like, okay, well, because that character was actually described to me, maybe they're important. But if you're describing everybody, I'm just going to get annoyed because it's pointless. There's no point to it. Don't waste your character's time. Or your reader's time by describing everybody. Like I said, Dean Koontz can go fuck himself. I don't give a shit about the oven mitt. I'm still upset about that. So I don't like. Would that annoy you reading something where it was like every other character who didn't matter got a description?
You should try writing that sometime, just for fun, just to
Yeah,
see what that would
I
do.
will.
Yeah,
I don't think I have the patience for it. I would get annoyed writing it. I would also be like, I don't know.
I wonder what that would
guess.
look like. I mean, I always appreciate, and I think I mentioned this in a past stream. My favorite story that I ever read in college was a like 1.5 or 2 page short story that was as minimalist as you could ever imagine. It was called The Signature of God by Judson Mitchum. And it evoked in me more emotion in a page and a half than some books have after 300 pages, just because every line mattered. Every line was powerful to telling this very brief narrative, and there was so much to be said in so little. And then you look at something like American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis, and just the abstraction of everything in that book and how he picks up in the middle of a thought and ends in the middle of a thought, and everything is so amorphous. And yet I hate people saying this is how you write correctly or something. It's like, no.
There is no way to write correctly.
Well, that's why I said, yeah, that description of skin is nasty. Maybe the person's nasty. Did you think about that?
If you're writing
Sometimes
fiction,
people be gross.
if you're writing fiction, your only job is to entertain your audience. That's how you write correctly. And anyway, the form that takes can be anything from Hemingway to the nasty bitch who wrote 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
E.L. James.
Thank you. I have not bothered to learn her name because fuck her.
Nasty bitch works too.
Nasty bitch. I do want to bring up a story real quick. It's kind of related to Harry Potter. Did you see at Harvard, they have a group that they call the Resistance School. They're doing a 4-part series online aimed at countering Trump's agenda. And these fucktards have actually compared themselves to Dumbledore's army from the Harry Potter books.
Wop, wop. Well, they have Quidditch teams on college campuses now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
The other thing I wanted to say,
this is fucking Harvard.
and I said this when in the video, because she was like, because in Harry Potter, the Death Eaters are like purebloods are the best, and everybody's like, oh no, not it's terrible that they think that. I was like, well, what if maybe if you're only half wizard, you're only half as powerful? That might make sense. Maybe that makes sense for the book, and maybe the character is the underdog who has to learn how to do something else to make themselves awesome. That could be a fun story.
Never fear, underdog is here. Oh,
Pretty much.
okay.
I mean, why not? I don't know. You don't just always have to be addressing racism. That's what she said. She was like, you have to address all the racisms everywhere. And she said, even if the characters are blue and pink and green.
How about not describing any of the characters? How about only having the reader have to extrapolate this person from what they say and their actions? What if you left out all description? Imagine writing a story like that. Would that be acceptable, I wonder, to this girl?
It's a script. I love
No.
scripts. I love reading plays.
No, I would challenge anybody. And I did this in my LARP group when we were doing people would write stories in between game sessions to sort of flesh out what their characters are up to. And I'd always put out these little like writing assignments or writing challenges for their characters. And I'd say, write a story about your character that contains as little description of physical things or aesthetic things as possible, but still get across what's going on. Actions, words, things like that, but be as minimalist as possible. And you would be amazed at how just like some complete stories came out of some people when they were challenged to try to find a way not to give away all the details and let what's going on, or let the reader fill in the blanks. And it wasn't a script. It was, anyway.
Well, no, I'm just saying I love reading those because there is no description. There's no,
Right.
unless one of the characters mentions something about you're a fat bastard. That doesn't even necessarily mean the other person's fat.
No.
Guys do that to each other all the time.
Yeah.
I like reading those because I absolutely hate description unless it is absolutely necessary to the story. I don't need to know that shit. Let my mind do the work.
I don't like writing descriptions of places. I don't like reading them. It annoys me. I'm just like, yeah, but the story maybe. I don't know why it irritates me, but it does.
Well, it depends.
Sometimes if you're like just setting the scene and it's the first time we've been to like their house or whatever, fine. But if you keep doing it, like the first time we go into her room, sure, the walls were bright pink from when she was 5 and she still had a ratty old teddy bear even though she's 40. I don't know, whatever. Fine. But like the 10th time we go in there, shut up.
Yeah, I always try to write, or at least I try. I don't write as much anymore, but I always tried to write without getting too deep into description first, and then I would reread it and say, okay, is anything necessary to set the scene? Like if I need to find a way to describe the street light, I wouldn't even talk about there being a street light. I would just say, the cone of sodium gold fell upon him or something, like that, and then just leave it at that. Don't even say there's a street light there. Just sort of, implication, and somebody else can fill in the blanks.
Yeah,
or you could just write about Asian characters in their home country and everybody will be the same color. Just throwing that out there.
I underwrite when I do my first drafts. I'm a serial underwriter because I just hate writing descriptions, so I have to go back and add all that stuff in. I'll actually write myself notes in my first draft. I'm like, this probably needs a description, but I'm lazy, so I'll do it later.
Monkey's smoking.
Am not.
I think we should somehow, I don't know, encourage him not to. There's a button at the bottom of the chat, just so you know.
So real quick, just to address something Mara said, I don't think you need a whole lot more, Faye. I think it's good the way it is. Anyway.
For those of you watching tomorrow, Mara just said that she had trouble with adding description at the beginning
of her prologue. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
It was a dark and stormy night.
Your prologue's perfect. You don't have to touch it.
Back in my blogging days, I used to write a lot. I have a lot of stories on my old blog that maybe one day I'll read. But one of the blogs that I wrote was about cliches, because you're always supposed to avoid cliches in writing. So I purposefully wrote a story with it was a dark and stormy night to start it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it went over really well.
Yeah.
I like writing cliches. I think it's fun.
Well, you can do them and make them new. Just because something's a cliche doesn't mean you can't ever use it. It's one of my problems, because I'd love to write too and have done a lot. And like a lot of people starting out, I was like, well, let me look up how you're supposed to do it. And you will find if you spend enough time looking at people telling you how to write, you will find people contradicting each other because there are no fucking rules.
Well, because sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the whole thing, is like sometimes this is going to work great and it's going to work perfectly for your story. Sometimes it's going to suck. I mean, that's kind of how when people are like, should I write in first person or third person? I don't know. What works for the story? It depends. They both have their pros and cons. Like first person, it's a more restrained view of the story, which can work great because maybe there's stuff you don't want revealed until the main character knows it. It also makes it a lot easier for your audience to get to know your main character because you're because they're reading the whole story from their perspective directly. And it's less formal than writing it in third person. Do whatever you want to do. Do whatever works.
Thank you, that guy. Scribe, you're going to have to say banana in a sexy voice here in a minute.
How much was given for this?
$2.
$2 Canadian. Oh, so that's like $1.75.
Will you stop insulting people giving me money?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, Scribe, can you whisper banana with a sexy voice? Well, I guess that assumes that you think my voice is sexy to begin with, but I have to whisper it. No, it's seen. Okay, now do I even need to say anything after he says that?
Baby.
Let's see. Banana.
Oh, that was kind of hot.
I mean, I was already a little turned on, but
now she has to change panties.
Only a little?
Well, that was before you said banana in a sexy voice.
I'm trying to find some of my old stories, like something that I have a lot of like stories that I started, but I never really finished. I'm trying to find one in particular that I could read because it's actually, it's not dirty per se, but you know, might be a little bit. Where is it? Or actually, maybe I should read it on my other channel. That'd probably make more sense.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
You can read it here, of course.
I have a second channel that I haven't done anything with, and I'm thinking about actually talking about writing because I really like talking about it.
You should do that.
And there's a lot to talk about, but I think when people go over specific rules, like how do you write a strong female character? And I'm like, first things first, stop thinking about your character as a female character.
Give her a dick.
Give her a dick and move on. Or just make a character that works and don't worry about whether or not she's strong enough. I mean, because nobody really has a good definition of what that means.
What happened to that?
Great. Now you got the chat all horny.
I know. I'm trying to find this one thing. It's very short. It's something I wrote a couple of years ago. God, where did it go? I've changed my computer a couple times now, and so I've put different files in different places, and now I'm searching around. Maybe I put it in another email account. Dang it. Yeah, it might have to be something I track down and read another time because I can't seem to find it right now. It's at least something I could read on the air, and it wouldn't. Well, no, it would be okay. It'd be a little blue, let's say, but it would be all right. Anyway, what else is going on? We talked about writing and such.
How do you guys feel about strong female characters?
Define strong. We talked about this on the Jessica Jones thing. It's like define strong. I think it is a well-established character. It doesn't matter if they are a coward or a hero or benign or whatever. I mean, how many memorable characters had to be the forefront? Why is Boba Fett so popular? Right. And it's just like, you don't need, I mean, a strong character, a character that has charisma and presence and meaning to people or makes an impact. I mean, there are characters that have become cult classics who had 5 lines. It's whatever.
The chicken Gone Girl was a strong female character. I don't think you should make every character like her. And then we have like Katniss, who is not a strong fucking character. She's a lazy bitch who lets everything happen to her. I just don't think you set out with the notion
to watch and to read about because they can't decide if they want her to be nice and sensitive or for her to be powerful and you're like, can your character stop being bipolar, please? Thank you.
Your character should have flaws. Nobody wants to read about Superman except in comics. You don't want a character who solves every problem immediately, but you also don't want to make them. I like the Female Detective Club. I can't remember the exact name of it. The oh shit, my mind just went completely blank.
Babysitters Club?
No, it's by what the fuck is his name? James Patterson. The first book was called First Degree. I forget the series, but it's a really good series. However, the women are so flawed that he took it a little too far in making them weak to where these strong female characters mostly sit around whining all the damn time. To his credit, and whether or not you like Patterson, it's an interesting read. He keeps the story going, but those characters are just a little too flawed. I hate the idea of the strong female character just because it so limits what you can do with them if you're actually going to make them a strong female character. You just want an interesting character. How about an interesting female character? Why not shoot for that?
Yeah, I think trying to make because I think you could say that there's no real definition for it, but I think what people mean is the female character who wants to be in with the boys and she doesn't have feelings and gonna beat shit up. Like, you can't make all the women like that. You could, but that's not what women are like.
Sorry, I have to interrupt you here. Better Read Than Dead said, "You know what's sad? A woman who can't lick her own nipples."
That is a tragedy.
Oh God.
Anyway,
Buttercup has been asking me to moan, and I don't know what you mean by moan. I can do my imitation of Heath Ledger again if you'd like.
Do it.
Oh. Okay. That's horrible.
Good Christ. Did you just have a bowel movement?
No, I'm a good actor. I do love acting too. I used to be. I am a thespian.
You like women? What? Oh.
Yes, I do like women a lot. Let's see. Moan. Oh no! See, it comes out sounding like so much of my moans these days come out like. I'll work on that, and we'll get it for you in another stream.
You're just gonna practice moaning. Mrs. Monkey's gonna be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. Why am I a part of this?
Thespian and you can't moan. No, see, this is one of those times where I feel like I'm put on the spot, and if I'm not put on the spot, I could have done it. If I was just doing it to be funny, it would have came out naturally.
Oh, I found the right folder with all my stories in it. I wondered if I had lost it or deleted it or something. Thank goodness for that. Let's see if
Come on, monkey, like you came. I come quietly. I'm not a screamer.
Silent but deadly.
Ooh.
I sent you banana eating vids, and you ignored it. If you send me stuff on Twitter, I have trouble looking at it during streams, but that's going to change by next Wednesday. I will have a new computer. I'll be able to do so much more.
What are you going to do first with your new computer?
Porn, of course.
Oh.
Maybe. No. Probably the first thing I'll do is test it to see how quickly it'll render a video. That's such a boring answer, though.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first things I did when I got my new computer a couple months ago. Is like, let's see how quickly I could render a video out of Vegas, and it did go by quicker than usual. But the upload time to YouTube didn't change.
Right. Hi, David. Yes, we need to have a monkey needs to pay for his computer stream. We'll have to go on a no smoking bin to pay for that. Monkey, that's not something you do. What is it? What am I not doing? Porn? Oh, I've never seen porn before. I've been waiting for a good computer to do that. Are you guys still here?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you guys are really quiet.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Can't do that.
I'm looking for
Remember.
I'm looking for this one story. I have all these other
Scare
stories
you, monkey.
here. I can't find the one I want.
Well, you guys remember that there was one stream where I got kicked out of my own damn stream.
This is true.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because nobody could hear you.
Never seen porn. That's a true story. And if you believe that, I have several things I can sell you.
Well, I remember the first time you said that, and I went, "Oh, really?"
Yes.
And you were like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then you were like, "You fucking idiot." I was like, "Yeah, you know."
Monkey, check out Two Girls, One Cup. I've seen Two Girls, One Cup, and as bad as it is, there's a video out there. The title on it was, I bet you can't watch this whole thing. And he was right.
God. Oh, yeah.
He was right. Just to give you an idea, it starred 2 Korean girls.
Oh, yeah.
And SDA doesn't know what that means because she's so innocent.
I really have no idea what that means.
I know you don't. That's okay. Chat, now would be a good time for any questions and things that we missed along the way.
Yeah.
Somebody wanted you to do something earlier, and I forgot what it was.
Me?
Oh, they wanted you to use your... No, Scribe. They wanted you to do your German voice.
Oh, my Eurotrash accent? Or my German voice?
They said German.
Well, German to me is just sort of like yelling out Schweinhund or something. But if I'm talking...
We'll do it with an accent.
Yeah,
keep going.
Let's see. What shall I say? I suppose I can say that I'm a bored European who needs a cigarette holder and a glass of sherry in order to enjoy my evening. What do we have in the chat right now? Oh, hello, Red. Hello, Foxy. Ooh, Hypnotic Monk.
I like the way you said Foxy there.
You like Foxy? Oh, Foxy.
Foxy.
Princess Buttercup. Hello, Princess Buttercup.
Uncomfortable.
Why are you uncomfortable? Tell me, why do you hate your mother? Why do you hate your mother?
I don't like this.
You don't like my voice. It makes you uncomfortable. Why does it make you uncomfortable?
Monkey's new computer should have a coconut for a mouse. Thank you, Russell. I wish I could find one like that. I'll have to look. I'm sure they make one. What else did we miss here?
I don't know.
Communist
SDA, where are you going?
No.
I'm going to be in El Paso this weekend.
Texas. What?
I was just laughing. Texas.
Texas.
Did you like my Communist in Space asked, did you like my political compass tweet? I did, but you misplaced me. I've taken the political compass test many times, and the last one I took, I'm right on the line between right and left, just barely to the right, and very libertarian.
I didn't see it.
I'll have to go through and tag you. He's put a bunch of people where he thinks they are, and or she. I don't know. Communist, are you a boy or a girl?
Are you trying to define their gender?
ASL. Damn it.
Those were the days.
How much tequila is too much tequila? When you pass out. I love me some tequila. What's the best way to send you banana eating videos? That would be on tag me on Twitter.
Yeah. I still want to know why SDA is like disturbed by my accent voice.
I think you were actually making her wet that time.
Oh.
She's been quiet. She went to change.
Me?
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm just reading the chat.
No, I was just curious why the Eurotrash accent made you so uncomfortable.
I don't know, it was weird.
Okay. Define weird.
I don't know, it just made me uncomfortable.
Okay. Anybody in chat made uncomfortable by that? I'm curious now. That was like a whole that was the accent I used for a Sedite character I played in the LARP. He was a Eurotrash Sedite, obviously.
Buttercup says she doesn't have Twitter. If you guys want to send me other videos, send it or just put it in a comment. I do read all my comments. I used to answer them all. I just can't anymore because I get so many. But if you want me to see something, you can put it that way. If it'll end up in my spam folder most likely, but I still look at those. Those are actually the ones I see. I know I see because I have to go in and approve them. But yeah, just send them through a comment.
Do a northern...
See, a bunch of people were made very uncomfortable.
No, I was made very uncomfortable. Oh.
I liked it.
No, what's a northern accent? Somebody said do a northern accent. I don't like put the car in the car park, that kind of thing, like a
Boston
or
yeah. The Bronx, or I don't know.
I don't know. I can do badly. I can do an Irish accent. I can do that Eurotrash thing. Eastern European I did for a time, and I've had a lot of practice doing sort of a Kevin Spacey's rendition of a Savannah, Georgia accent. I had a lot of practice doing that. outside of that, I can do Barney. I can do Bullwinkle, Bad Kermit, and that high
Ooh,
pitch.
Bad Kermit.
Oh yeah, it's not easy being green. You know that thing. I can do that a
You
little
do a
bit.
good one.
And then the high pitched cartoon voice, and then a range of other things depending, I suppose.
What's a Michigan accent? It's not so much an accent as people from Michigan talk really, really fast. Like they have to get the words out or their head will explode.
No, they're all con
Where
artists.
is Mrs. Monkey from?
We are actually both from San Diego. We were born in the same hospital.
She doesn't sound like she's from San Diego.
Wait, were you born in the same hospital at the same time?
No,
Oh.
7 months apart.
Oh, okay.
We're both Navy brats. We were around each other our whole lives, except for about 2 years, but didn't meet till high school. Somebody asked me what comments I would not approve. I don't approve actual spam. I don't get much of that. And when I do, it's for some reason it's toy channels. Why you would want to promote me on your channel for children just makes no sense. And I don't approve those. And the only other one I ever didn't approve was somebody who was just being horrifically racist to try to get a rise. I mean, if you drop an N-word in a comment, I'm probably N-word. If you say nigger in one of your comments, I probably will let it go.
I've had an effect on the monkey.
I'm trying to get most of my adult life I've said N-word, not because I think nigger is a horrible word, but because I get tired of having the argument over whether or not you can say a fucking word. And no matter what argument you're having, you drop it and suddenly, that you're a horrible person. We have to talk about what a fucked up shithead you are. So for the longest time, I wouldn't say it just to keep from, I wouldn't write it or talk about it in an argument or anything just because that became the fucking argument. And I'm trying to break myself of that habit. But if it's, this guy was just, it was horrible shit he wrote, and there was no point to it. It didn't actually address the video or anything. And so that didn't get approved, but almost everything else, I just click and let it go. Porch monkeys. One of my favorite scenes in a movie is in Clerks 2 when they do the porch monkey thing. Scribe, have you seen that?
Clerks 2? I think I saw it once a long time ago.
It's not as good as Clerks.
Exactly.
But the porch monkey part is awesome.
I've apparently found a very brief, it's not even a short story. It's like an opening or some kind of like in the middle thing of a murderer story I was writing at some point. God, how old is this thing? This has got to be a very old. Let's see. This is 2004. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So I don't know. I was a twisted fuck back then. Well, maybe less so than now. Yeah, it's a pretty it's a creative but relatively graphic little scene about a murderer doing a murder.
Sweet.
I don't know. Is
Peter
that
has mentioned this a few times? Says to get Magog for the. I assume that's how you pronounce it.
Magog?
Magog. I'm not familiar with him. I know the name. I've seen it a few times. If we get somebody on here, it'll probably be a woman.
Yeah, we'll get like Based Mama. Or we'll just like rotate. Like, how long are you gone for, SDA? It's tomorrow, and how long?
I'll be on tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we should. Should we like audition for guest spots?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Back then, yeah, Fernanda. Yes, back then. Yeah, no, I'm probably just as much, but it's sort of like you write something and then you don't see it for years, and you read it again, and you have to sort of remember. Oh yeah, this came out of my brain. That's kind of a weird revelation sometimes.
It is, yeah. Find somebody who loves penguins.
Oh God,
that's our litmus test.
Let's see. Oh, maybe we should have maybe we should have like some fans on. Like
Oh,
maybe,
Princess Buttercup says she wants 5 minutes. I will give you 5 minutes for
Yeah.
Princess Buttercup.
yeah, I mean maybe we'll have a night where it's like Buttercup can come on and then Red can come on or whoever else. I don't know if anybody wants to or can, I suppose.
Bloodwing, we will have you on. You don't even have to wear heels. Let me know what day is good for you this weekend. We'll have you on one day.
Although it would help.
Well,
I mean, if we just knew he was wearing heels, it might help. I don't know.
a redneck in heels does nothing for me. A male redneck in heels.
Well, we're not just catering to you, Monkey. We have an audience now. Come on.
Okay, who likes male rednecks in heels?
Watch the responses come in. I do.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, guys, if you want to be considered for one of the replacement spots for SDA, hit us up on Twitter.
Yeah.
Except for
Not a
Buttercup, because I know you.
Spot.
Oh, you stop being so
Don't say
touchy.
it like that.
Just filler.
How about
They're just filler.
if you would like to fill in SDA?
There you go. That's a prize. How much you want to donate to try to get that opportunity?
If you would like to fill in for SDA, except Buttercup, because I know you don't have Twitter. Oh wait, if you don't have Twitter, how the hell am I going to get the
Buttercup get Twitter?
We'll have to find a way to get you the link. But anybody else who's interested, hit me up on Twitter. My DMs are open, so send me a message and we will consider it. If you don't get picked, please don't get upset. Because thank you, that guy. I can't read that.
Monkey say, je ne parle très bien français.
Bien français.
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 Comment allez-vous?
Je ne parle très bien français.
Français. Say, not ses. Say.
Okay,
Je ne parle très bien Francis.
Very good.
Fucker, I was just going to do that.
That's Southern French right there. That's like Louisiana French. I know a little German. You want to hear? I mean, not German. Russian. You want to hear a little Russian?
Sure.
Хочешь яблочный пирожок, гражданин? And that is, would you like an apple cake, comrade? Or something to that effect.
Sweet. Bloodwing, I know I can send the link by email, but I don't want her just throwing her email at
you could send it to her in private message to her YouTube channel.
Foxy,
her account.
Yeah. Foxy just said, I DM you, Monkey, but I get ignored. I am so sorry that happens. If you guys DM me, this is what happens. I read my DMs and then something will catch my eye and I completely forget that I got any message.
He even does it to me, don't worry.
I'm working on it. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. It's not personal, I promise you.
Yeah,
if I didn't want to speak to somebody, I'll just tell you I don't want to speak to you.
And if any girls want to send me like hot pictures through Twitter to try to sway my vote on having you on, I'll not complain.
I guess I have to send nudes. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Yep, pretty much. That's just the way it is. Some things will never change.
I love you back, Foxy.
Anything else to talk about, or
who hurt Skaggle's feelings?
What?
We're coming up on the 2-hour mark, so
yeah.
How about we do last call for any questions?
I did want to bring up something for the comic book crowd, since I haven't brought up anything comic book this whole stream, really, as far as I can recall. First and foremost, Daredevil Season 3 will apparently begin filming the end of this year after the Defenders come out in August. So if you're a Daredevil fan, the more will be coming. And maybe, fingers crossed, Bullseye will finally show up, because I know a lot of people want Bullseye to show up, and that'd be really cool. Secondly, in bad Marvel news, Jessica Jones Season 2 is in the dock to be filmed as well at the end of this year. Yep. And when that does come out, SDA will be required to watch it, just so we can all keep on the same. I'll watch it too. I'm not shirking my responsibilities.
Fine.
Also, so for those of you that are also Marvel Comics freakazoids and know something about certain teams in the Marvel Comics universe, apparently, much to my chagrin, they are producing the first Marvel half-hour comedy-based superhero show, and the team they are using for this show. Now, real hardcore Marvel nerds might think, gosh, wouldn't the Great Lakes Avengers make a great comedy show, given the fact that it was basically a satire of the Avengers within the Marvel Universe? No, they're going to use the New Warriors. And while the New Warriors was sort of a minor sort of Teen Titans kind of team, it wasn't comedy. But they're putting Squirrel Girl in it, so it has to be comedy now. And as far as I know, it's going to be live action. So we'll have a live action Squirrel Girl, which I have no, complaint against necessarily, but the New Warriors as comedy is kind of
Gutenberg. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
But anyway.
He's going to Michael Phelps my smush cookie.
I wish it was Alpha Flight. If we actually got Alpha Flight, its own TV show, that'd be cool. Canadians doing superhero stuff. That'd be amazing. Except they'd all be killed, because that's what happens to Alpha Flight. They get killed.
Okay, we might have to have a dedicate one of these nights to a fan stream. Let them.
Oh, that would be fun. I was actually thinking about suggesting that, where we do a night where we have people pop in.
Yeah, give people like 5 or 10 minutes just to come in and say hi and say what they talk about, what they want to talk about, that kind of thing. I was intending to do that at some point on mine, maybe as after 1,000 sub stream or something like that. I don't know.
Don't slide off your chair, SDA. I mean, I already did. Like, the second I see Gutenberg, it's just, that's it. I'm done. He's my sugar daddy. What can I say? Yeah,
Cloak and Dagger are getting their own show. I really hope that they stick to the tone and themes in those first few comic books of that series, because that was some dark and gritty stuff, and I really liked how they opened up those characters. If they try to take it in some kind of like buddy cop show thing, I'm going to be very upset.
Bloodwing says, with that nose, who knows what would happen to your smush cookie, some dumb American?
It would implode.
I'm okay with that.
Your clit would become an innie.
Whoa! Ugh. Yikes.
Yeah, I at that one, I think we're going to end on that.
I was about to say, I think we've reached the end of the.
Follow that up.
That's the end of the line, folks.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do a fan stream one day this weekend. We will look for an alternate to fill in for SDA for the other days.
Yeah. I get home on Monday, so I may be or on Monday. Did I say on Monday? I get home on Monday, and I might be able to stream that night, depending on how exhausted I am.
Okay.
So we'll see. I'll let you know.
So everybody say bye to SDA. She's going to be gone for a few days.
Bye, SDA. Have a safe trip and enjoy yourself, and get lots of selfies. Get a selfie with Vernaculus. I want to see that. That'd be cool.
Okay. Yeah, I'll vlog everything. I'll probably be on the same flight as Anthony Brian Logan, actually. He has to connect in Atlanta, and
sit on his lap.
No.
Oh.
No, I can only sit on Gutenberg's lap. We've been over this.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Chat, thank you guys for watching. SDA Scribe, thank you guys for coming as always. Your life makes me sad. I will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.